Hey there, friends. Picture this, a quiet little place called Maple Grove. It's a cozy neighborhood with green trees, cute houses, and friendly people. At least, that's how it looked on a peaceful evening not too long ago. My name's Jake, and I'm just a regular guy who loves cool stuff like my brand new smart lights. Have you heard of those? They're super neat. You can tap your phone, and boom, the lights turn red, then blue, then green. It's like magic, right? I thought it was the best thing ever, and most of my neighbors agreed. They'd smile and say, "Jake, those lights are awesome." But not everyone was happy. Nope, not at all. There was one person who hated them, and her name was Karen Mitchell. Now, let me tell you about Karen. Oh boy, she was something else. You know those people who act like they're the boss of everything? That's Karen. She was the queen of our homeowners association, or HOA for short. That's a group that makes rules for the neighborhood. Karen loved rules more than anything. She'd walk around with her big clipboard, pointing at stuff and yelling orders. No loud music, she'd snap. Trim your grass right now, she'd bark. Everyone saw her coming and just sighed. They'd roll their eyes behind her back, but no one dared to argue. She was loud, she was bossy, and she scared people a little. Well, everyone except me, at least, not yet. See, I didn't know it then, but something big was about to happen. Karen thought she was in charge of everything, like the whole street belonged to her. She had her perfect little world, with her perfect little rules, and she didn't like my lights messing it up. But here's the secret she didn't see coming: her world wasn't so perfect after all. It was about to turn upside down, and I'd be right there to watch it happen. Are you curious yet? Good. Stick with me, because this story's about to get really exciting. Before we go on, I've got a quick question for you. Have you ever had a neighbor like Karen? You know, someone who's always poking their nose into your business. Maybe they tell you what to do or complain about silly things. I'd love to hear about it. Drop your stories in the comments below. I bet some of you have met a Karen or two. Okay, let's get back to that evening in Maple Grove. It started out so normal. The sun was going down, painting the sky orange and pink. Kids were riding bikes, and a soft breeze was blowing through the trees. I was inside my house, sitting on my comfy couch, playing with my smart lights. Tap, tap red. Tap, tap blue. I was having a blast. My house looked like a rainbow, and I couldn't stop smiling. Outside, a few neighbors walked by and waved. "Cool lights, Jake," they called. I waved back, feeling pretty proud. Who wouldn't love this, right? But then, I heard it. Thump, thump, thump. Loud footsteps stomping up my porch. I peeked out the window, and there she was, Karen Mitchell. Her face was all scrunched up, like she'd just eaten a sour lemon. Her arms were crossed tight, and that clipboard was tucked under one elbow. She looked mad. Really mad. I opened the door, trying to be nice. "Hey, Karen," I said. "What's up?" But she didn't even say hi back. She just pointed at my house and shouted, "What are those ridiculous lights? They're too bright. They're ugly. Turn them off right now." I blinked at her. Ridiculous. Ugly. My lights? No way. I thought they were the coolest thing on the block. They're just smart lights," I said. "You can change the colors with your phone. It's fun." But Karen didn't care. She shook her head so fast her hair bounced. "I don't care what they are," she yelled. "They're against the rules. I'm the HOA queen, and I say they have to go." I scratched my head, confused. Rules? What rules? I didn't remember any rule about lights. But Karen wasn't waiting for me to figure it out. She turned around and stomped off, muttering something about calling someone. I shut the door and shrugged. She's just grumpy, I thought. She'll get over it. Boy, was I wrong. Karen wasn't just grumpy, she was on a mission. She didn't like my lights one bit, and she was ready to make a big fuss about it. Little did she know, her big fuss was about to backfire in the wildest way. See, while I was playing with my lights, something else was happening in Maple Grove. Something sneaky. Something Karen didn't expect. And it was going to change everything. Let's rewind a bit so you can picture where I live. My house is small but cozy, with a little front yard and a porch where I like to sit sometimes. Maple Grove is full of houses like mine, neat and tidy, with flowers in the gardens and kids' toys scattered around. It's the kind of place where everyone knows each other. There's Tom, my buddy next door, who's always fixing his old truck. There's Mrs. Lee across the street, who bakes the best cookies ever. And then there's Karen, who lives 2 houses down in a big white house with perfect grass and fancy curtains. She always acted like she was better than everyone else. If your mailbox was crooked, she'd write you a note. If your dog barked once, she'd glare at you for a week. That's just how she was. So, that night, after Karen yelled at me, I went back to my lights. I wasn't going to let her ruin my fun. Tap, tap purple. Tap, tap yellow. I even turned on some music, keeping it low so she wouldn't hear. I figured she'd forget about me by morning. But Karen? Oh, she didn't forget. She was already planning her next move. She sat in her fancy house, scribbling on that clipboard, thinking up ways to get rid of my lights. She thought she had all the power. She thought she could boss me around. But here's the thing, she didn't know what was coming. Not even a little bit. The next day, the sun came up, and Maple Grove looked peaceful again. Birds were chirping, and a few people were out walking their dogs. I was in my kitchen, making toast, when I glanced out the window. That's when I saw a police car. It was parked right down the street, near Karen's house. Huh, I thought. That's weird. Cops don't come around here much. Maybe someone's car got scratched or something. I didn't think too hard about it. I just grabbed my toast and sat down. But then my phone buzzed. It was a text from Tom. Dude, it said. You won't believe this. Karen's in trouble. Trouble? Karen. I texted back, what kind of trouble? He replied, big trouble. Just wait. Now I was curious. I stepped outside to get a better look. Sure enough, 2 police officers were walking out of Karen's house. They were carrying boxes, big ones. What was in those boxes? I had no idea. But Karen didn't seem worried. Not yet. She was standing on her porch, yelling at me again. Jake. Those lights are still on. I'm calling the cops, she shouted, waving her phone. I waved back, trying not to laugh. Go ahead, Karen. I called. She didn't know the cops were already there, and not because of me. See, while Karen was busy hating on my lights, something else had been going on in Maple Grove. For weeks, someone had been watching her. Someone had noticed things, strange things. And now, it was all coming out. Karen thought she was the queen of the neighborhood, but her crown was about to fall off. Hard. What was her secret? Why were the cops at her house? Oh, you're going to love this part. Let's keep going. Back inside, I turned my lights to green, just to mess with her a little. I wasn't scared of Karen anymore. She could yell all she wanted. I had a feeling something bigger was about to happen. And I was right. That evening, things got even crazier. Karen came stomping over again, her face redder than my lights on full blast. This is your last warning, she screeched. I'm calling 911 right now. She held up her phone like it was a weapon. I just leaned against my door and smiled. Okay, Karen, I said. Call them. She started dialing, her fingers shaking with anger. But before she could finish, a voice cut through the air. Ma'am, put the phone down. It was one of the cops, walking up behind her. Karen froze. Her eyes got wide, like a deer caught in headlights. What? She said. This is about his lights. She pointed at me, her voice all squeaky. The cop shook his head. No, Mrs. Mitchell, he said. This is about you. About her? What did that mean? I leaned closer, trying not to miss a word. The cop kept talking. We've been looking into some stuff. Stuff we found in your garage. Karen's mouth opened, but no words came out. For the first time ever, she was quiet. And that's when I knew this was going to be good. What did they find? Oh, it's juicy. See, Karen had been hiding something big. All those months she'd been bossing us around, She was keeping a secret. A sneaky, sneaky secret. The cops had been watching her for weeks, waiting for the right moment. And my lights? They just pushed her over the edge. She thought she could scare me, but she ended up tripping over her own mess. Want to know what happened next? Of course you do. Let's keep this story rolling. By now, the whole neighborhood was buzzing. People peeked out their windows, whispering to each other. Tom ran over to my porch, grinning like crazy. "Jake, you've got to see this," he said. "They're taking her away." "Taking her away?" Whoa. I stepped outside just in time to see Karen in handcuffs. Handcuffs. The HOA queen, the bossy lady with the clipboard, was being led to a police car. She was yelling, "Of course. This is a mistake. I didn't do anything. It's those lights." But the cops didn't listen. They shut the car door, and off she went. Later, Tom filled me in. Turns out, Karen had been stealing stuff. Yep, stealing. Jewelry, tools, even a lawnmower, all from people in Maple Grove. She'd stashed it in her garage, thinking no one would notice. But someone did. Someone tipped off the cops, and they'd been building a case. That day, they finally had enough proof. The boxes they carried out? Full of stolen goods. Can you believe it? Karen, the rule maker, was the biggest rule breaker of all. So, that's how it started: my lights, her tantrum, and a big, messy surprise. Maple Grove was never the same after that. People laughed about it for weeks. And me? I kept my lights on, brighter than ever. Karen's perfect little world flipped upside down, and I got to watch it all. Pretty cool, huh? What do you think? Have you ever seen a bossy person get caught like that? Tell me in the comments. This is just the beginning, there's more to come, so stick around. Okay, friends, let's jump into the next part of this crazy story. It all kicked off on a cold Friday night in Maple Grove. The air was chilly, and I could see my breath when I stepped outside earlier. But now, I was cozy inside my house, sitting in my living room. I was having so much fun with my smart lights. You know, those cool lights I told you about? The ones I can change with my phone? Tap, tap green. Tap, tap purple. They flashed all over my walls, making my house look like a party. I was smiling big, just playing around, thinking how awesome it was. Everything felt perfect. But then bam! Trouble showed up at my door. Picture this: I'm sitting there, tapping my phone, when all of a sudden, there's a loud bang. Bang, bang, bang. It sounded like someone was trying to knock my door down. I jumped a little, surprised. Who could that be? I got up, walked over, and peeked out the window. Oh no! It was Karen Mitchell. Yep, the HOA queen herself. Her face was all red, like a big, ripe tomato. She was glaring at me so hard, I thought her eyes might pop out. She looked super mad, like I'd done something awful, like maybe set her fancy roses on fire. But I hadn't. It was just my lights. How could lights make someone this mad? I opened the door, trying to be nice. "Hi, Karen," I said, giving her a little wave. "What's wrong?" But she didn't wave back. She didn't even say hi. She just pointed at my house and started yelling. "Turn those ridiculous lights off," she shouted. Her voice was so loud, I bet the whole street heard her. "They're an eyesore. They're ugly. They're ruining everything." I blinked at her, confused. An eyesore? Ugly? My lights? No way. I thought they were the coolest thing ever. They made my house look fun and happy. How could she hate them so much? "They're just smart lights," I said, holding up my phone. "Look, I can change the colors. See? Green, purple, blue, it's awesome." I tapped my phone to show her, hoping she'd smile. Maybe she'd think they were neat too. But nope. Karen didn't smile. She didn't even look at my phone. She just crossed her arms and shook her head. "I don't care what they are," she snapped. "They're against the rules. I'm in charge here, Jake. I'm the HOA queen, and I say those lights have to go." Her voice was sharp, like a teacher scolding a kid who forgot his homework. I scratched my head. Rules? What rules? I didn't know about any rules saying lights weren't allowed. I mean, they were just lights. They didn't hurt anyone. They didn't make noise. They just glowed pretty colors. But Karen wasn't waiting for me to figure it out. She kept going. If you don't turn them off right now, she said, I'm calling the cops. The cops? Over lights? I almost laughed, but her face was so serious, I stopped myself. Karen, come on, I said. They're harmless. They're fun. But she didn't listen. She turned around, her shoes stomping loud on my porch, and marched off. I heard her muttering under her breath stuff like rules and disrespect. She was gone, but I knew she wasn't done. I shut the door and stood there for a second. What just happened? I shrugged my shoulders and went back to my couch. Karen's always grumpy, I thought. She yells about everything: loud dogs, tall grass, even kids playing too much. Maybe she'd forget about my lights by tomorrow. I wasn't worried. I tapped my phone, red lights now, and tried to relax. Big mistake, friends. Oh boy, was that a big mistake. Karen wasn't joking around. She didn't forget. She didn't calm down. She meant every word she said, and she was already making her next move. Let's slow down a bit so you can see how wild this got. After Karen left, I sat there, watching my lights flash. Red, blue, green, so cool. I figured she was just having a bad day. Maybe her cat scratched her couch or something. I wasn't going to let her ruin my fun. But outside, Karen was steaming mad. She went straight back to her big white house, 2 doors down from mine. She slammed her door shut, bam, and grabbed her phone. She wasn't kidding about calling the cops. Can you believe it? She really dialed 911, all because of my silly lights. Who calls the police over something like that? Karen, that's who. Here's what she didn't know, though. While she was busy being mad at me, something else was going on. Something sneaky. Something big. See, Karen thought she was the boss of Maple Grove. She thought she could tell everyone what to do, me, my neighbors, even the birds in the trees. But behind her back, trouble was brewing. Real trouble. Not the kind of trouble she was trying to make for me. No, this was trouble for her. And she had no clue. Not one little hint. Isn't that wild? My lights were just the start. They were like a tiny spark that was about to light up a huge mess. Let's imagine what Karen was doing right then. She's in her fancy living room, pacing back and forth. Her clipboard's on the table, full of her precious rules. She's holding her phone, talking fast. Hello, 911, she says. Yes, this is Karen Mitchell from Maple Grove. There's a problem. My neighbor has these awful lights flashing all over his house. They're bright and ugly, and they're breaking the rules. You need to come right now. She probably nodded to herself, feeling proud. She thought the cops would rush over, tell me to turn off my lights, and she'd win. She loved winning. It made her feel big and important. But here's the funny part, well, funny for me, not for her. The cops didn't care about my lights. Nope. They had bigger things to worry about. See, while Karen was yelling at me and calling 911, something else was already happening in our neighborhood. Something secret. Something she didn't see coming. My lights were just a little thing, but they pushed Karen to do something silly. And that silly thing? It was about to bounce right back at her. Hard. Oh, you're going to love what happens next, friends. It's so good. Let's back up a tiny bit. That Friday night, after Karen banged on my door, I didn't know what she was up to. I just kept playing with my lights, thinking she'd get over it. Tap, tap yellow. Tap, tap pink. My living room looked like a rainbow, and I was happy. Outside, the street was quiet. The moon was up, shining soft and silver. Most people were inside, eating dinner or watching TV. It felt like a normal night. But it wasn't normal. Not for Karen. She was madder than a bee stuck in a jar. And when Karen got mad, she didn't stop. She kept going and going, like a train with no brakes. So, there I was, sitting on my couch, when I heard a car outside. I peeked out the window again. No cops yet, just a neighbor driving by. I shrugged and went back to my lights. But Karen? She was on her phone, waiting for the police to answer. Hurry up, she probably said. This is an emergency. An emergency? Over lights? I wish I could have seen her face when she said that. She really thought my lights were a big deal. She thought she'd get me in trouble. She thought she'd win, like always. But oh boy, she was so wrong. Here's where the tension starts building, friends. Tension is like when you're waiting for something big to happen, and you're all excited and nervous at the same time. That's how it felt in Maple Grove that night. I didn't know it yet, but Karen's call to 911 was just the beginning. She was stirring up a storm she didn't even see. While she was busy being mad at me, other stuff was going on. Stuff she didn't expect. Stuff that was going to make her wish she'd left my lights alone. Let's think about Karen for a second. She's tall, with short hair and a loud voice. She always wears fancy clothes, like she's going somewhere important. She loves her big house, her perfect yard, and her clipboard full of rules. She thinks she's the best, and she wants everyone to know it. That's why my lights bugged her so much. They were different. They were fun. They weren't part of her boring, perfect world. And Karen hated anything that didn't fit her rules. So, she yelled at me. She called the cops. She thought she'd scare me into turning them off. But she didn't scare me. Not one bit. Back in my living room, I was still messing with my lights. Tap, tap orange. Tap, tap white. I wasn't thinking about Karen anymore. I figured she'd give up eventually. People like her always huff and puff, but then they go away, right? Wrong. Not this time. Karen wasn't going away. She was doubling down. That means she was trying even harder to get her way. She sat in her house, waiting for the cops to show up. She probably smiled to herself, thinking, I'll teach Jake a lesson. No one breaks my rules. But here's the twist, the best part of all. Karen didn't know it, but the cops weren't coming for me. Nope. They were already sniffing around for something else. Something bigger. Something that had nothing to do with my lights. While she was busy complaining about me, trouble was creeping up behind her. It was like a sneaky cat, ready to pounce. She had no idea. Not a single clue. And that's what makes this so exciting. My lights were just a little thing, but they set off a chain of big things that were about to turn Karen's world upside down. Let's imagine what I was thinking right then. I'm on my couch, lights flashing, feeling good. I hear Karen's voice in my head, turn them off. I'm calling the cops. And I laugh a little. She's so dramatic, I think. It's just lights. What's the big deal? I didn't know she'd really called 911. I didn't know she was serious. And I definitely didn't know what was waiting for her. If I had, I might have turned my lights to red just for fun, to match the trouble coming her way. Outside, the night got colder. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves. Maple Grove looked sleepy and calm, but it wasn't. Under the surface, stuff was bubbling up. Karen's call to the cops was like throwing a rock into a pond. Ripples were starting to spread. She thought those ripples would hit me. She thought I'd be the one in trouble. But nope. Those ripples were heading right back to her. And they were about to splash her big time. So, there's the setup, friends. Me with my lights, Karen with her anger, and a big secret waiting to pop out. Can you feel the tension? It's like waiting for a balloon to burst. You know it's coming, but you don't know when. Karen thought she was in control, but she wasn't. She thought she could boss me around, but she couldn't. She thought my lights were the problem, but they weren't. The real problem. It was her. And she was about to find out the hard way. Okay, friends, let's keep this crazy story going. It's the next morning now, and things are starting to heat up in Maple Grove. The sun was just coming up, turning the sky all pink and yellow. I rubbed my eyes, still sleepy from the night before. That's when I saw something weird out my window. A police car. It was parked right down the street, super close to Karen's big white house. I squinted to get a better look. Yep, it was real, a police car with its lights off, just sitting there. Huh, I thought. That's not normal. We don't see cops around here much. My tummy did a little flip. Did Karen really call them about my lights? Oh no. I pulled the curtain back a bit more and watched. 2 police officers were there, walking in and out of Karen's house. They weren't rushing or anything, just calm, like it was no big deal. But here's the strange part, they were carrying boxes. Big ones. They'd go inside, come out with a box, and put it in their car. Then they'd go back for more boxes. At Karen's house? That's super odd. What could be in them? I scratched my head, trying to figure it out. Maybe she was moving? No, that didn't make sense. She loved her house too much. So why were the cops there with boxes? I figured it had to be about me. Karen said she'd call the police last night, right? She was so mad about my smart lights, those fun ones that flash green and purple. I thought, oh, she really did it? She called them because of my lights? I didn't want to get in trouble, so I kept my head low. That means I stayed quiet and sneaky, peeking out the window like a spy. I didn't want the cops to see me. I watched them carry more boxes, big, heavy ones. 1, 2, 3 boxes. What was going on? My brain was spinning with questions. Just then, my phone buzzed. BZZ, BZZ. I grabbed it quick. It was a text from my buddy Tom. He lives next door in a little blue house, and he's always got the best gossip. The text said, "Dude, Karen's in trouble. Big time. Trouble. Karen." My eyes got wide. I texted back fast, "What's going on?" My fingers were shaky because I was so curious. Tom didn't give me much. He just texted, "Wait for it." Wait for it? What did that mean? Now I was even more confused. Tom knew something, but he wasn't telling me yet. Ugh, that made me want to know even more. While I was texting Tom, I heard her voice. Yep, Karen's voice. She was outside, yelling again. I peeked out my window, and there she was, strutting around like she owned the whole street. Strutting means walking all big and proud, like a peacock with fancy feathers. She didn't look scared or worried, not one bit. She was still mad at me. She stood on her porch, pointing at my house, shouting through my window. "Jake. Those ugly lights are still on. Turn them off right now," she hollered. Her face was red again, and her arms were waving like crazy. Ugly lights? My cool smart lights? No way. I loved them, and lots of neighbors did too. But here's the funny thing, Karen didn't even notice the cops. They were right there, walking around her house with those boxes, and she was too busy yelling at me to see them. Can you believe that? She was so focused on my lights that she didn't see what was happening at her own place. I almost laughed, but I kept quiet, still watching. The cops didn't stop. They kept going in and out, carrying more boxes. 4 boxes now? 5. What was in them? Clothes? Books? Something else? I had no idea, but it was getting weirder by the minute. Karen kept shouting. "Those lights are against the rules, Jake. I told you I'd call the cops, and I did." She waved her phone in the air like it was proof. I stayed inside, peeking out, thinking, okay, Karen, you called them. But why are they at your house? She didn't know it yet, but those cops weren't there for me. Nope. They were there for her. Every time she yelled at me, it was like a little clock ticking down. Tick, tock, tick, tock, closer and closer to her big surprise. She was digging herself into a hole, and she didn't even see the shovel. Let's slow down a bit so you can picture it all. It's morning now, and Maple Grove is waking up. Birds are chirping, and the air smells fresh. My house is quiet, except for my lights still glowing softly green now, because I left them on. Karen's house is just 2 doors down, all fancy with its perfect grass and big windows. The police car is parked right in her driveway, but she's not looking at it. She's too busy glaring at my place. The cops are calm, carrying those mysterious boxes. One's tall with a hat, and the other's shorter with a clipboard, not like Karen's, though. They don't say much, just keep working. I decided to text Tom again. "Come on, tell me." I typed. "What's Karen in trouble for?" I hit send and waited. "BZZ, bzz. His reply came quick. Dude, it's big. Just watch her house. Watch her house? Okay, I could do that. I grabbed a glass of juice and sat by the window, sipping and spying. Karen was still out there, pacing back and forth on her porch. Pacing means walking one way, then turning around, over and over. She looked like a lion in a cage, all grumpy and loud. Jake, you're ruining the neighborhood, she shouted. Those lights are a disgrace. A disgrace? That's a big word for something so silly. But then I saw something else. The tall cop came out with another box. This one looked heavy. He grunted as he carried it to the car. What was in there? It didn't look like clothes or books. It looked weird. Like maybe tools or something shiny. I couldn't tell from far away, but it made me super curious. Karen didn't see it. She was too busy yelling at me. I'm the HOA queen, she said. I make the rules, and you broke them. She stomped her foot, and I rolled my eyes. She was so loud, but she was missing the real action right behind her. Tom texted me again. You see the boxes, he wrote. Yeah, I texted back. What's in them? He replied, you'll see soon. It's nuts. Nuts? What did that mean? Was it food? No, that's silly. He meant crazy, I bet. My heart started beating faster. Something big was happening, and I was starting to figure it out. The cops weren't here for my lights. They didn't care about green or purple flashes. They were here for Karen. But why? What did she do? I sipped my juice and kept watching, waiting for more clues. Karen finally stopped pacing and went inside her house. I thought maybe she'd given up yelling at me. Nope. A minute later, she came back out with her clipboard. Oh boy, that clipboard again. She started writing something on it, muttering to herself. Jake, lights, cops, I could hear bits of it through the window. She was making a list, I guess maybe a plan to get me in trouble. She looked so proud, like she was winning. But she wasn't winning. Not even close. The cops were still there, and now they had 6 boxes. 6 big boxes stacked by their car. What was she hiding? I leaned closer to the window, my nose almost touching the glass. The short cop with the clipboard was talking to the tall one. I couldn't hear them, but they looked serious. They kept glancing at Karen's house, then at the boxes. Something was up. Something big. Karen didn't notice. She was back to yelling at me. You'll be sorry, Jake, she called. The cops will fix this. Sorry. Me. I didn't think so. She was the one who should be sorry, but she didn't know it yet. Every shout she threw my way was like a step closer to her own mess. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Let's imagine what was in Karen's head right then. She's standing there, clipboard in hand, thinking she's the boss. She's mad at me, mad at my lights, mad at everything. She's saying to herself, I called the cops, and they'll make Jake turn off those ugly lights. I'll win, like always. She loves being in charge. She loves her rules. She thinks she's the queen of Maple Grove, and no one can stop her. But oh boy, she's so wrong. The cops aren't her helpers. They're not here to fix me. They're here to fix her. And those boxes? They're the key to the whole thing. I decided to step outside for a better look. I grabbed my jacket, it was chilly, and tiptoed onto my porch. I didn't want Karen to see me, so I stayed behind a bush. Peekaboo. From there, I could see everything. The cops were still busy. The tall one went back inside Karen's house, and the short one started opening one of the boxes. He pulled something out, something shiny. Was it metal? Jewelry? I couldn't tell, but it wasn't normal stuff. Karen didn't see it. She was too busy waving her clipboard at my house, shouting, "You're done, Jake. Done." Tom ran over to me, ducking behind the bush too. "Hey," he whispered. "You watching?" I nodded. "Yeah, what's in the boxes?" I asked. He grinned big. "Dude, it's stolen stuff." "Stolen stuff?" My mouth dropped open. "What?" I said. "Yep," Tom whispered. "She's been taking things from people. The cops found out. Taking things. Like stealing? Karen. No way. But Tom looked sure. Just wait, he said. It's about to get wild. Wild. It was already wild. My head was spinning. Karen, the HOA queen, a thief? That was nuts. Karen kept yelling, totally clueless. Those lights are a crime, she shouted. A crime? Oh, that was funny. She didn't know the real crime was hers. The cops were right there, digging through her secrets, and she was still mad at me. I almost laughed out loud, but I covered my mouth. Tom giggled next to me. She's so dumb right now, he said. Dumb. Yeah, she was. Every shout was like a countdown. Tick, tock, she was running out of time. The cops had 7 boxes now. 7. Whatever was in them, it was bad news for Karen. Let's think about this for a sec. The morning started normal, sun up, birds singing. I saw the police car and thought it was about me. But nope, it was about Karen. The cops were sneaky, coming early to check her house. They found boxes, lots of them. Tom said it was stolen stuff. Stolen. That means taking things that aren't yours, like a kid sneaking candy from a store. Karen, the rule maker, was breaking rules. Wow. And she didn't even know they were onto her. She was too busy yelling at me about my lights. It was like a big joke, and she was the punchline. I peeked out from the bush again. The tall cop came out with another box, number 8. He set it down, and the short cop wrote something on his clipboard. They were calm, like they'd done this before. Karen was still strutting around, shouting at my house. You'll regret this, Jake, she called. Regret? Nope, I was having fun watching this. She thought the cops were her friends, but they weren't. They were her trouble. And those boxes? They were proof. Proof of what? I didn't know yet, but I couldn't wait to find out. Tom nudged me. See? Told you it's big, he said. How'd the cops know? I asked. He shrugged. Someone told them, I guess. They've been watching her. Watching her? Like spies. That was cool. So the cops had been sneaky for a while, waiting for the right time. And now they were here, with boxes and boxes of stuff. Karen's stuff. Stolen stuff. My lights didn't matter, they were just a silly thing that made her mad. The real story was her, and it was getting juicier every second. Karen finally turned around, maybe to go back inside. That's when she saw the cops. She stopped yelling for a sec, looking confused. Hey, she said. What are you doing? The tall cop looked at her but didn't answer. He just kept working. Karen's face changed, still red, but now a little worried. Why are you at my house? She asked. The short cop said, we'll talk soon, ma'am. Ma'am. That's polite, but it didn't sound friendly. Karen blinked, like she didn't get it. Then she turned back to me and yelled, this is your fault, Jake. My fault? Huh? No way. The cops had 9 boxes now. 9. They were stacking them up by the car. Karen went back to pacing, muttering to herself. She didn't know what was coming. She didn't know those boxes were her downfall. Downfall means when everything falls apart like a tower of blocks crashing down. Every time she yelled at me, it was like knocking one more block loose. She was building her own mess, and the cops were about to show her. So, friends, that's where we're at. The morning's getting busy, and the secrets are popping out. My lights? Just a little thing. Karen's trouble? A big thing. The cops were there, the boxes were piling up, and Karen was clueless. What was in those boxes? Stolen stuff, Tom said. But what kind? And how did she get it? You'll find out soon, I promise it's good. This story's like a roller coaster, going up, 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 and we're almost at the top. Stick with me, because the drop is coming, and it's going to be wild. Okay, friends, buckle up. This is the part where everything goes boom like a big fireworks show. It's the afternoon now in Maple Grove, and the sun is high in the sky, shining bright. Things are about to get super exciting. I was outside my house, standing on my little porch, playing with my smart lights. Yep, I'm stubborn. I wasn't going to let Karen scare me into turning them off. No way. I tapped my phone. Blue lights. Then green. I was tweaking them, making them just right, smiling to myself. My lights were cool, and I loved them, even if Karen didn't. But oh boy, trouble was coming fast, and it wasn't for me. Picture this, I'm out there, tapping away, when I hear loud stomping. Stomp, stomp, stomp. I look up, and here comes Karen Mitchell, charging across the street like an angry bull. Her face is red, again redder than my lights on full blast. She's holding her phone tight in her hand, waving it like a sword. She stops right in front of me and screams, "I've had it, Jake. I've had it with you and those stupid lights." Her voice is so loud, I bet the birds flew away. "I'm calling 911 right now," she yells. She starts poking at her phone, her fingers moving fast. She's serious, she's really doing it again. I just stand there, watching her. I'm not scared. I'm stubborn, remember. I cross my arms and think, go ahead, Karen. Call them. I don't care. My lights aren't hurting anyone. But before she can even finish dialing, before she can say hello, 911, something amazing happens. 2 police officers step out from her driveway. Yep, the same cops from this morning. They'd been at her house all day, and now they're right there, walking toward us. The tall one, with his hat, says in a calm voice, "Ma'am, put the phone down. We need to talk." Karen freezes. Her hand stops moving, and her phone just hangs there in the air. Her mouth drops open like, all the way down to her chin. She looks so shocked, like someone just popped a balloon in her face. "What?" she says, her voice all squeaky. She blinks at the cops, then at me, then back at the cops. "What do you mean? This is about his lights." She points at me with her other hand, her finger shaking. She's still mad, still thinking I'm the problem. She thinks the cops are here to help her, to make me turn off my lights. "Oh, Karen, you're so wrong." The tall cop shakes his head slow, like he's tired of her yelling. "No, Mrs. Mitchell," he says. "It's not about the lights. It's about the stolen goods we found in your garage." "Stolen goods?" Whoa. My ears perk up, and my eyes get big. Did he just say stolen goods? In Karen's garage? I look at her, waiting for her to laugh or say it's a joke. But she doesn't. Her face goes from red to white, super white, like a ghost. She's not yelling now. She's not moving. She's just standing there, staring at the cop like he's speaking a different language. The short cop, the one with the clipboard, steps closer. "Yep," he says. "We've been looking around your place all day. Found a bunch of stuff that doesn't belong to you." He's calm too, like it's just another day for him. But for me? This is huge. I can't believe it. Stolen goods? Karen. The HOA queen who's always bossing everyone around? No way. I look at her again, and she's still frozen. Her phone slips a little in her hand, but she catches it. She's starting to figure out this isn't about me anymore. It's about her. I can't help it, I grin. Yep, a big, goofy grin spreads across my face. This is too good. Karen's been yelling at me for days about my lights, and now the cops are saying she's the one in trouble. Ha! I lean against my porch railing, watching it all unfold. Unfold means it's happening right in front of me, like a storybook opening up. And oh boy, this story just got wild. What kind of stuff? I ask, curious. I don't think the cops will answer, but I want to know. The tall cop looks at me, then back at Karen. "Electronics," he says. "Jewelry. Even a lawnmower." "A lawnmower?" My mouth drops open now. Electronics like TVs or radios. Jewelry like shiny rings and necklaces. And a lawnmower? Who steals a lawnmower? I picture Karen sneaking around with a big mower under her arm, and I almost laugh out loud. This is nuts. The cop keeps going. "It's stuff from your neighbors' homes. Been missing for months. We found it all in her garage." Karen finally moves. She shakes her head fast, like she's waking up from a dream. "No," she says. "That's not true. I didn't steal anything." Her voice is loud again, but it's shaky now, not so bossy. She's scared, I can tell. She points at me again. He's the problem. His lights are breaking the rules. You should be talking to him. She's trying so hard to make it about me. She doesn't want to believe what the cops are saying. But they don't care about my lights. Not one bit. The short cop sighs. Mrs. Mitchell, we've got proof, he says. We've been watching you for weeks. Someone tipped us off. Tipped them off? That means someone told the cops a secret like a whisper in their ear. Who? I wonder. Tom. Mrs. Lee? Someone in Maple Grove knew something and told the police. The cop pulls out his clipboard and starts reading. TV from Mr. Johnson. Necklace from Mrs. Lee. Lawnmower from Tom next door. Tom's lawnmower? My buddy Tom? I gasp. Karen stole from Tom too? Karen's face gets whiter, if that's even possible. She looks like she might fall over. No, 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 she says, waving her hands. That's a mistake. I didn't take anything. I'm the HOA queen. I make rules, not break them. But the cops aren't listening. They've got their proof, and they're done with her excuses. The tall cop steps closer. We need you to come with us, he says. Come with them? Like, to jail? Whoa. This is getting better and better. I'm still grinning, watching it all. My lights? They're still flashing behind me, green now, then purple. They're the least of Karen's problems. The least. She's been hoarding stuff. Hoarding means keeping a big pile of things that aren't yours. Electronics, jewelry, a lawnmower, all stolen from our neighbors. For months, she's been sneaking around, taking things, hiding them in her garage. And all this time, she's been yelling at me about my lights? Huh? What a twist. Let's slow down a sec so you can see it all. It's afternoon, and the street's quiet except for Karen's yelling. The sun's warm, and a little breeze is blowing. My house looks fun with my lights flashing. Karen's house looks fancy, but now it's got a police car in the driveway. The two cops are standing there, calm and serious. Karen's in front of me, her phone in one hand, her face all white and scared. Neighbors are starting to peek out. Tom's on his porch, Mrs. Lee's by her window. They're watching too, wondering what's happening. Karen tries again. This is ridiculous, she says. I didn't steal anything. You've got the wrong person. She's almost crying now, but she's still mad. The tall cop shakes his head. We've got the stuff, ma'am. It's in your garage. We checked. The short cop nods. Found it all this morning. Took 9 boxes to carry it out. 9 boxes. I remember those boxes from earlier, the ones they were stacking up. So that's what was in them. Stolen goods. Wow. I can't stop grinning. Karen's been caught, and it's big. She looks at me, her eyes all narrow. You did this, she snaps. Your lights made this happen. Me? My lights? I laugh out loud this time. Karen, my lights didn't steal anything, I say. You did that all by yourself. She glares at me, but she's got nothing to say back. The cops step closer, and she backs up a little. She's trapped now, no more yelling her way out of this. Let's imagine what Karen's thinking. She's standing there, her phone shaking in her hand. She's thinking, this can't be real. I'm the HOA queen. I'm in charge. I don't steal, I tell people what to do. She's mad, scared, confused all at once. She thought she'd call the cops on me, win like always. But nope. The cops were already here, waiting for her. She didn't see it coming. Not one bit. Her big plan to get me in trouble? It blew up in her face. Boom. The tall cop says, let's go, Mrs. Mitchell. He's gentle but firm, like he means it. Karen shakes her head again. No. You can't do this. I'm innocent. Innocent means not guilty, but the cops don't buy it. They've got the proof, 9 boxes of it. The short cop takes her arm, nice and slow. Come on, he says. We'll sort it out at the station. The station? That's the police station. Karen's going to jail. My grin gets even bigger. This is the best day ever. Tom runs over to me, laughing. Told you it was wild, he says. She stole my lawnmower, dude. I laugh too. Your lawnmower? That's crazy. Tom nods. Yep, and Mrs. Lee's necklace, and a TV. She's been sneaky for months. Months. All this time, Karen's been acting like the perfect neighbor, bossing us around, while secretly taking our stuff. And my lights? They just made her so mad she couldn't hide it anymore. What a mess. Karen's still arguing as the cops lead her away. This is a mistake. I'll sue you all. Sue means taking someone to court, but no one's scared of her now. The neighbors are coming out, watching her go. Mrs. Lee claps her hands. Good riddance, she says. Good riddance means she's glad Karen's leaving. I wave at Mrs. Lee, and she waves back. Everyone's happy except Karen. Her face is white, her eyes are big, and she's finally quiet. No more yelling. No more clipboard. No more rules. The cops put her in the police car right in the back seat. She looks out the window at me, and I wave. Bye, Karen. I call. Enjoy the ride. She glares, but the door shuts bam, and she's gone. The car starts up, and they drive away, slow and steady. My lights keep flashing purple, blue, green like a little party on my porch. I did nothing wrong, but Karen? She did everything wrong. And now everyone knows. So, friends, that's the big moment. It all exploded that afternoon. Karen's plan, her secrets, her whole bossy world. She came charging at me, ready to call 911, but the cops stopped her cold. Stolen goods. Electronics, jewelry, a lawnmower, all from Maple Grove, all hidden in her garage. She thought she'd get me, but she got herself instead. My lights? Just a silly thing that made her mad. Her stealing? The real problem. And now she's off to the police station, while I'm here grinning. Isn't that wild? What a reveal. Let's think about it. Karen's been sneaky for months, taking stuff, hiding it. She acted all perfect, but she wasn't. The cops knew someone told them and they waited. That afternoon, she lost it over my lights, and boom, her secret came out. 9 boxes of proof. She's not the HOA queen anymore. She's just Karen, the thief. And me? I'm just Jake, the guy with the cool lights. What a day. Alright, friends, we're at the end of this wild ride. It's time to see how everything wraps up in Maple Grove. The big moment just happened. Karen got caught, and now the cops are taking her away. Let's dive in and watch it all play out, step by step, with all the fun details. Ready? Here we go. So, picture this, it's still that crazy afternoon. The sun's starting to dip a little, making the sky all orange and pretty. The police car is parked right there in Karen's driveway, and the 2 cops, the tall one and the short one, are busy. They've got Karen now, and they're hauling her off. Hauling means they're taking her away, like dragging a big bag of toys you don't want anymore. Karen's not happy, not one bit. She's yelling loud as they walk her to the car. This is about HOA violations, she shouts. You can't do this to me. HOA violations. Really, Karen? That's what she's worried about right now? I can't help but giggle. The tall cop opens the back door of the squad car, that's what they call a police car. The short cop gives Karen a little push, not mean, just gentle, and she climbs in. Well, climbs isn't right. They kind of stuff her in, because she's wiggling and yelling. I'm the HOA queen, she hollers as the door shuts bam. But the cops don't care. They've got her, and she's not the boss anymore. She's just a lady in trouble, sitting in the back of a police car, looking out the window with a grumpy face. I wave at her from my porch. See ya, Karen. I call. She glares at me, but the car starts up, vroom, and off they go. Bye bye, Karen. Now, the street isn't quiet anymore. Nope. Neighbors are popping out like bunnies from a hat. They've been watching this whole time, peeking from windows and doors. But now they're brave enough to come outside. There's Tom, my buddy from next door, grinning big. There's Mrs. Lee, the cookie lady, clapping her hands. Even old Mr. Johnson, who never leaves his porch, is out there, leaning on his cane. They're all gathering around, whispering to each other and laughing. Did you see that? Tom says to me, running over. They got her. I nod, still smiling. Yep, she's gone. Everyone's talking at once, like a big party. She stole my lawnmower. Tom says, laughing. And my necklace. Mrs. Lee adds. My TV too. Mr. Johnson chimes in. They're all figuring it out now. Karen's been taking their stuff for months. Months. Can you believe it? She acted so perfect, with her clipboard and her rules, but she was sneaky. Really sneaky. The neighbors aren't mad, though they're happy. They're giggling and chatting, like kids on a playground. Karen's gone, and they're free. Tom grabs my arm. Dude, you won't believe this, he says. Someone told the cops about her weeks ago. Weeks ago? My eyes get big. Who? I ask. Tom shrugs. Dunno. But they've been watching her ever since. Sneaky, huh? Sneaky. The cops were like spies, keeping an eye on Karen, waiting for the right time. They knew she was stealing, but they didn't catch her till now. And my lights? Oh, my funny, flashing lights? They were just a silly little thing that made her lose it. She got so mad about them, she couldn't hide her secrets anymore. What a funny coincidence. Let's slow down and picture it. The police car's driving away now, down the street, getting smaller and smaller. Karen's in the back, probably still yelling, but we can't hear her anymore. The neighbors are all out, standing in little groups. Tom's next to me, laughing. Mrs. Lee's telling Mr. Johnson how happy she is to get her necklace back. My lights are still on blue now, then red flashing like they're dancing. The air feels lighter, like a big storm just passed and the sun's out again. No more Karen. No more yelling. No more rules. It's awesome. By the next day, things feel even better. The sun comes up, bright and happy, and Maple Grove is quiet but a good quiet. I wake up, stretch, and look out my window. Karen's house is still there, all big and fancy, but it's different now. No one's on the porch. No one's pacing with a clipboard. It's just, quiet. Her reign is over. Reign means when someone's the boss for a long time, like a king or queen. But Karen's not the queen anymore. She's gone, and the street feels free. I step outside with a cup of juice, sipping it slow. My lights are still on. I left them glowing all night, just because I could. Tap, tap green. They look so cool in the morning light. I sit on my porch and watch the neighborhood wake up. Birds are singing, and a dog barks somewhere. Then I hear footsteps, not stomping, just walking. It's Tom. He waves and runs over. Morning, Jake, he says. Feels good, huh? I nod. Yeah, no more Karen. We both laugh, sitting there together. Then Mrs. Lee comes by. She's got a big smile and a plate of cookies. Yum. Jake, she says, thank you. Thank me? I blink at her. For what? I ask. She points at my lights. Those lights made Karen so mad, she got caught. You helped us. I grin. Really? I say. Yep, she nods. They're the best thing on the block now. The best thing? Wow. I take a cookie chocolate chip, my favorite, and munch it. Mrs. Lee pats my shoulder and walks off, still smiling. More people stop by as the day goes on. Mr. Johnson shuffles over with his cane. Good job, kid, he says. Those lights are neat. Neat. Even old Mr. Johnson likes them. Then some kids ride by on bikes, shouting, cool lights, Jake. Everyone's happy, and they're thanking me. All because my lights, my silly, flashing lights, pushed Karen over the edge. Over the edge means she got so mad, she couldn't hide her sneaky stealing anymore. Who knew my lights could do that? Let's think about it. Karen's gone now, off with the cops. They took her to the police station to figure out what to do with her. She stole stuff: Tom's lawnmower, Mrs. Lee's necklace, Mr. Johnson's TV, and hid it in her garage. Someone smart told the cops weeks ago, and they watched her. They waited till they had proof, 9 boxes of it. My lights didn't matter to them. They were just a funny little thing that made Karen yell and scream. And when she yelled too much, her secrets popped out like popcorn in a hot pan. Pop, pop, pop. The street feels so different now. No more clipboard tapping on my door. No more rules about grass or music or lights. Karen's house sits there, empty and quiet. No one's seen her car or her, since the cops took her away. Maybe she's in jail. Maybe she's just hiding. I don't know, and I don't care. What I do know is justice got served. Justice means when someone does something bad, and they get caught, and things get fixed. Karen did bad stuff stealing, and now she's paying for it. And us? We're all happy again. I keep my lights on all day, just for fun. Tap, tap purple. Tap, tap yellow. Neighbors walk by and wave. Love those lights, Jake, they call. Love them. That's so cool. Karen called them ugly, but everyone else thinks they're great. They're like a little rainbow on our street, making people smile. Tom sits with me later, eating Mrs. Lee's cookies. You're a hero, dude, he says. A hero? Me? Nah, I laugh. Just a guy with lights. But maybe he's right. My lights started it all, and now Karen's gone. Let's imagine what's happening with Karen. She's at the police station, sitting in a little room. The cops are asking her questions. Why'd you take the lawnmower, they say. Where'd you get the necklace? She's probably mad, saying, I didn't do it. But they've got the boxes, 9 big boxes of proof. She can't talk her way out. No clipboard, no rules, no HOA queen stuff will help her now. She's just Karen, and she's in big trouble. That's justice, friends, when the bad guy gets caught, and the good guys win. Back in Maple Grove, the day goes on. Kids play in the street, riding bikes and laughing. Mrs. Lee bakes more cookies, I can smell them from my porch. Mr. Johnson sits outside, humming a song. Tom and I kick a ball around, just for fun. My lights keep flashing red, blue, green like a party that never stops. The street feels lighter, like a heavy blanket got lifted off. No more Karen stomping around. No more yelling. Just happy people and a quiet, free neighborhood. By nighttime, I'm back on my porch, looking at the stars. They twinkle, kind of like my lights. I tap my phone, white lights now, soft and calm. I think about everything. Karen was the bossy HOA queen, always telling us what to do. She stole stuff, hid it, and acted like she was perfect. But she wasn't. My lights made her so mad, she couldn't hide anymore. The cops came, found her secrets, and took her away. Now she's gone, and we're all better off. Justice got served, and it came with a side of flashing colors, my colors. So, friends, that's how it ends. The cops hauled Karen off, yelling and all. Neighbors laughed and cheered. Someone tipped off the police weeks ago, and they watched her till they had her. My lights? Just a funny little thing that pushed her too far. By the next day, Maple Grove was happy again. No clipboard, no rules, just freedom. People thanked me, loved my lights, and Karen's reign was done. Justice. Oh yeah, it was served big time, and my flashing lights made it even sweeter. What a story, huh? All's good now in Maple Grove. Okay, friends, we're at the very end now. The big adventure in Maple Grove is all wrapped up, and it's time to sit back and think about what happened. It's like when you finish a fun game and talk about what you learned. So, grab a comfy spot, maybe on your couch or your bed, and let's chat about this wild story. It's going to make you smile, maybe even cheer, and I hope it leaves you feeling happy and strong. Ready? Here we go. So, here's the thing, friends, sometimes the loudest people have the most to hide. Think about that for a sec. Karen was loud, right? Super loud. She yelled at me about my lights. She stomped around with her clipboard, telling everyone what to do. No loud music, she'd say. Trim your grass, she'd bark. She acted like she was the boss of Maple Grove, the big queen of the neighborhood. Everyone heard her coming, stomp, 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 and they'd roll their eyes. She was loud all the time, shouting rules, making a fuss. But guess what? All that loud stuff was hiding something sneaky. Something big. See, Karen thought she could control everyone. She thought she was in charge, like a teacher with a big ruler, pointing at kids to sit down. She told me to turn off my smart lights, those fun ones that flash green and purple. "They're ugly," she'd yell. "They're against the rules." She wanted my lights gone because they didn't fit her perfect little world. She thought she could boss me around, make me do what she said. She thought she could boss Tom and Mrs. Lee and Mr. Johnson too. She wanted everyone to follow her rules, no questions asked. Karen thought she was unstoppable, like a superhero with a cape. But she wasn't. Here's the funny part: she couldn't control the truth. Nope. The truth is like a sneaky little mouse, it always finds a way out. Karen was hiding stuff, big stuff. She stole things: Tom's lawnmower, Mrs. Lee's necklace, Mr. Johnson's TV. She piled it all up in her garage, thinking no one would know. She'd strut around, acting perfect, yelling at me about my lights, while her secrets were sitting right there. But the truth? It doesn't stay quiet forever. The cops found out, someone told them, and they came for her. They took her away, and all her loud yelling couldn't stop it. The truth won, and Karen lost. Big time. And me? What about me, Jake, the guy with the lights? I just kept them on, shining bright. That's right. I didn't let Karen scare me. She banged on my door, bang, 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 and screamed at me to turn them off. "I'm calling the cops," she said. But I didn't listen. I tapped my phone: red lights, blue lights, green lights, and kept going. I was stubborn, friends. I liked my lights. They were fun, they were cool, and they made me happy. I wasn't hurting anyone, so why should I stop? Karen was loud, but I stayed me. I kept my lights glowing, like little stars on my house, and that's what mattered. So, maybe there's a real lesson here, a big one we can all think about. What if the lesson is this: live your life, do your thing, and let the Karens of the world trip over themselves? Let's break that down, okay? Live your life, that means be you, every day. Like how I kept my lights on because they made me smile. Do your thing, that means keep doing what you love, even if someone doesn't like it. My lights were my thing, and I didn't turn them off for Karen. And the Karens of the world? They're the loud ones, the bossy ones, the ones who think they're in charge. But sometimes, they're hiding stuff, and they fall flat on their faces, because the truth comes out. Think about Karen. She was loud, bossy, and mean. She tried to control me, but she couldn't. She yelled and stomped, but it didn't work. Why? Because she was hiding stolen stuff, lawnmowers and necklaces, and that's what tripped her up. She fell hard, right into the police car, because she couldn't hide forever. Me. I didn't fall. I stood on my porch, lights flashing, and watched her go. I didn't fight her. I didn't yell back. I just kept being me, and that was enough. The truth took care of the rest. Isn't that cool? Let's imagine you for a sec, friends. Maybe there's a Karen in your life, someone loud who tells you what to do. Maybe they say, "Don't play so loud," or "You can't draw like that." They're bossy, like Karen with her clipboard. But what if you just keep going? What if you keep playing, keep drawing, keep being you? You don't have to fight them. You don't have to yell. Just shine bright, like my lights, red, blue, green, and let them trip over their own mess. They might get mad, but that's okay. You're you, and that's the best thing to be. Karen thought she was big and strong, but she wasn't. She thought her rules made her special, but they didn't. She fell because she was sneaky, not because I did anything wrong. My lights were just lights, silly, fun, happy lights. They didn't hurt her, but they made her so mad she couldn't hide her secrets anymore. And when the cops came, vroom, they took her away. The neighbors cheered, and I smiled. Justice happened, and it felt good. But the real win? I stayed me. I kept my lights on, and that's what beat her. So, what do you think, friends? Did this story make you laugh? I bet you giggled when Karen got stuffed in that car, still yelling about my lights. Did it make you cheer? Maybe you clapped when the neighbors came out, happy she was gone. I'd love to hear what you think. Drop a comment down below, tell me if you laughed, if you cheered, or if you've got a Karen in your life too. I want to know all your stories. This was a fun one, wasn't it? Crazy, silly, and full of surprises. Let's picture Maple Grove one last time. The street's quiet now, all peaceful and calm. Karen's house is dark, no more stomping, No more yelling. My house. It's glowing purple lights tonight, soft and pretty. Tom's next door, probably eating cookies. Mrs. Lee's baking more, and Mr. Johnson's humming on his porch. Everyone's happy, living their lives, doing their things. And me? I'm here, thinking about you, hoping this story sticks with you. It's a story about being you, shining bright, and letting the loud ones fall. Here's a little secret, friends, you're like my lights. Yep, you are. You can shine red, blue, green, any color you want. You don't have to listen to the Karens. You don't have to turn off your fun. Just keep going, keep glowing, and the truth will take care of everything else. Karen couldn't stop me, and no one can stop you either. You're strong, you're awesome, and you've got this. So, live your life, do your thing, and watch the bossy ones trip. It's the best way to be. Until next time, keep shining, okay? I mean it. Be bright, be happy, be you like my lights on a dark night. I'll catch you in the next story, friends. I've got more fun ones to tell, and I can't wait to share them with you. So, drop that comment. Did you laugh? Did you cheer? And let's keep this party going. See ya soon, and don't ever stop shining. Bye for now.